My client sent 43,000 DMs in the last month from one single Instagram account and made over $400,000 in revenue because of it. He's only using 3 VAs and everything runs on complete autopilot. Meanwhile, 99% of businesses hiring DM setters are bleeding money because they have zero clue what they are doing. Give me the next 9 minutes and I'll expose the exact system that we have been using to scale hundreds of businesses on Instagram so you can just copy what works for you. I'll also show you clear proof that everything I say really works, so get ready. And if you don't know me yet, my name is Serdar, and in the past 2 years I've scaled my AI agency past $100,000 per month, and I have launched 2 SaaS products with the sole intention of scaling thousands of high-ticket businesses on Instagram. And now I'm sharing the same systems on this personal YouTube channel so you can grow faster too. If you like my approach, hit the subscribe button, welcome to the community, and let's get started. Look, I see this every single day. High-ticket business owners think hiring more people equals more results. But that couldn't be farther from the truth if you don't know what you're doing. They grab random VAs from Upwork or Fiverr, throw them into their Instagram DMs with zero training, zero systems, and zero tracking. 3 weeks later, they're wondering why their leads are getting burned and their bank account is getting drained. The good news is, I can tell you what's actually happening. Your VAs are too slow, sending the wrong messages, following up randomly, and you don't even know that any of these things is happening because you are not tracking it. You're basically flying blind. But meanwhile, good leads are actually falling through the cracks because there is no system to catch them correctly. But it doesn't need to be that way. Let me show you our 3-step system that actually works and gets results. But before I break down the 3-step system, I need to tell you something super important. For all our clients, the actual setting and qualification process is fully done by AI. This means there is no human involved in actually having a conversation with anyone inside of Instagram. And this is why our DM team can only focus on getting more conversations and more replies. And this is the absolute end game. This makes this whole system scalable by 10x or 50x or 100x, whereas most businesses doing this manually cannot scale that hard that fast. Now, if you're still in the good old days of having humans actually have the conversations to qualify and set the calls, everything I'm going to tell you still applies and works perfectly fine. However, it's not going to be as cheap, as automated, and as scalable as our full solution. I don't know at which stage your business is in right now, but I just want you to know that AI is the optimal way of having appointments set inside of a conversation these days. There's zero arguments of why humans should continue with this task when AI can do it faster, better, and cheaper than anyone else. Just keep that in mind while watching. Get your data right. I cannot stress this enough. This is the single most valuable activity that you can do today to scale your business. If you're not tracking, you're guessing, and guessing is expensive. You have to track everything. How many outreach DMs have been sent? For which reasons have these messages been sent? Which message was used? How many replies did we get? How many follow-ups were necessary to get a response? Which script is working? How many call links did we send? How many calls have been booked? Who did all the messages? Everything. You need to track every little metric in your whole sales system and your whole sales process to be able to improve based on data and not on guesswork. You really have to track everything in your sales process or you will struggle to scale based on data. And as soon as you struggle with data, you will start guessing, and that's not how we scale companies. This is really not rocket science, but you would not believe how many clients come to us making hundreds of thousands of dollars every single month and not having their KPIs right. When I was at the acquisition.com headquarters, Alex Hormozy told me, if I ask you for a KPI now and you need longer than 30 seconds to find it, or you need to ask someone in the company to find it, then you have a data problem. And I'm not even going that far. I'm just saying track all your metrics because this is super important to scale the company. One of the most important reasons why you have to track everything is that you need to see who's performing well and who's just collecting a paycheck in your team. You have to schedule weekly performance reviews based on real numbers, not on guesswork. If someone cannot hit basic metrics after 2 or 4 weeks of training, fire them and get someone new. Hire fast, fire faster. I only want the top 10% working inside of my companies, and if I have data to support that someone is not inside of those top 10%, I'll simply fire them for these simple jobs like DM setting or lead generation. Do not let emotions drain your budget. Your people can only be as good as the systems they are given to. If you stress yourself that your team is not performing like yourself, I have really bad news for you. They will never. It is not their company. Why should they care as much as you do? And I know as a founder and business owner, this can really be draining on your energy, but you just simply have to accept that these people will never care as much as you do. And that these people would not be here if you don't give them a paycheck at the end of the month. But don't worry, there is a fix to this, and it's called crystal clear SOPs and guidelines. Listen, our DM team has only one job: start more conversations. That's it. They're simply conversation starters. And as explained before, our AI takes care of everything else. And this is exactly why we can hire super cheap VAs for this task, because the role is so clear that anyone could do it. If Meta would allow automations for outreach or after the 24-hour conversation window, then I would not need any humans at all for this whole system. If your setters are also having the conversation and booking the calls manually, then this is even more important for you. You need to have clear SOPs and guidelines that can be understood by everyone reading them. And here's the magic. Our system shows them exactly who to follow up with and when. They do not need to search leads in a messy Google Sheets or whatever. They simply have a system where it says, this user needs a follow-up right now, go and do it. And that's it. That makes it super simple to not make any mistakes. Someone didn't get a reply yesterday, follow up today. We have one open conversation that we didn't get a response for in a week. Go ahead and send the next follow-up message in your script. Everything is laid out for them, clean and simple. They wake up, open the dashboard and know exactly what to do for the whole day. And because we are tracking everything in real time, they can also see their performance instantly. They see the messages they have sent, the reply rates, the daily targets they have to hit, and they can see how they stack up against the other people in the team, especially if you have multiple people on your team. This creates intrinsic motivation to be better than the others and get rewarded at the top of the leaderboard. So simply showing your team what they are doing at every given moment improves the performance on its own. If you got any value out of this video so far, I would really appreciate if you give this video a like and subscribe to the channel so more people see this. Thank you, and now let's move on with step number 3. And here's what separates winners from losers. Winners adjust based on data, and losers keep doing the same thing expecting different results. Every week you need to analyze your data. Outreach performance, team metrics, reply rates, call links sent, calls booked, and so on. Then make smart adjustments based on what you find. Do this regularly, but always do one change at a time. Don't change everything or you won't know what worked. You see that one outreach message gets 15% reply rate compared to 8% with another message? Make that message the new default and create new A/B tests for outreach messages. You notice that people who view your story are more likely to convert during a sales call? Go ahead and focus on story viewers more than on new followers or post likers. You might find out that people who got 4 or more follow-ups are more likely to buy your product than others. Do more follow-ups. It's that simple. And here's the hard part. If someone in your team underperforms for 2 to 4 weeks consistently and you have talked to them and they are not able to improve, you have to fire them. Don't make excuses. Get someone who can hit those numbers. The data tells you everything. Who's working, what's working, where to focus next. But only if you actually look at it and make smart changes. Most people collect data and do nothing with it. That's like having a GPS and ignoring the directions. Use the data to guide your next moves and see how your company improves every single week. This is the AI performance dashboard of one of our clients where we can track every single metric about the AI, the conversations, the call link sent, the booked calls, and everything around it. And just as a quick example, as you can see, this is June and May. We had 2,300 active conversations. We have sent 533 booking links, which means the AI found out that these are qualified people, and we booked a total of 218 calls with single human intervention. That means no human was involved in booking these 220 sales calls for this client. And as this whole process is fully automated, the only thing to scale this is giving the AI more conversations to work with. And that's exactly how we set up our DM team plus the AI to make a perfect sales machine inside of the Instagram DMs. And the only 2 dashboards that our team actually needs is this one to see how the AI is performing, and this one to actually see how they are performing, doing the outreach, sending the messages, doing the follow-ups, and so on. And also they can see themselves in the leaderboard here compared to other people in the team. Here's proof to what I explained earlier. Our client sends 43 or 44,000, in June even over 50,000 DMs with just 3 people on the team. And you can see exactly who is sending the most amount of outreach messages and who's sending the most amount of follow-up messages during that time. And this should be proof to all of you that sending 50,000 DMs per month with one single Instagram account is very much possible and can easily be outsourced by just having 2 or 3 VAs. You do not need 10 people to send 50,000 DMs in these days anymore. And this only works if you have a proper process and proper systems in place that these VAs simply wake up, know exactly what to do their job, and go to sleep. We do not want any guesswork. We do not want anything random in our sales system. This needs to be structured and on point to 100%. And this is how the circle closes. This client sends around 40 to 50,000 DMs per month using 3 VAs. From there, our AI has around 2 to 3,000 active conversations, out of which it books around 10% into qualified, ready to buy calls for the closers. And with these systems combined, our client is making more than $400,000 in revenue every single month just from his Instagram. And if this is not proof enough to get your data right, train your VAs, give them SOPs and guidelines, then I don't know what is. Just to quickly show you how we manage all of our DM setters inside of this one tool, you have the contacts tab where you can see every single contact that has been contacted on Instagram. And this is stuff you don't see on ManyChat or Go High Level or anywhere else. So the DM tracker simply connects to your ManyChat and gives you all the detailed statistics and the follow-up board that you otherwise don't have. So our DM team comes to the outreach tab to simply track outreach messages, which usually have been tracked in Google Sheets before. They simply add the Instagram username, the reason for reaching out to this lead, and the message they have been using. The DM tracker automatically tracks who has sent out that message. When they are done with their current outreach, they simply switch to the follow-up board, which shows them exactly who to follow up with right now. These are all people who did not reply back to us in different time frames. For example, their first stage is 3 days after the last reply, and their third follow-up is 10 days after the last follow-up. So in total, I think this is a 60-day follow-up regime. So the VA simply comes to this board, sees who needs a follow-up, clicks on the Instagram username, sends them the follow-up message, comes back here and tracks it as done, and moves on to the next lead. And this is how they are able to send 50,000 DMs in 1 month just with 3 people. And again, this creates real revenue and profit for the business. So why should they not do it? And you can see that they currently have around 16,000 follow-ups that have been done already. And just after 6 weeks of implementing this, I can see that this team is working really hard to keep the follow-up board empty. And that's the goal. Do more outreach, do more follow-ups. And we, as the business owner, we love this statistics tab. We come to see how many messages have been sent, how many follow-ups have been sent, the follow-ups sent per stage. I can see who's performing better with outreach, who's performing better with follow-ups. And from next week on, I'll also be able to see much more stats here because this is just being rolled out. At the time of you watching this video, you can probably also see which outreach message works best, which reason for outreach gives the best clients, and also a fixed response rate, because as you can see, this here is wrong. So the math is absolutely insane. He pays less than $10,000 for these 3 people in the DM team and makes more than $400,000 in revenue every single month, which is a 40x ROAS only on his DM team. And on top of that, he doesn't need to pay any commissions to the DM team because the actual calls are booked by the AI and not by the team anymore. The team is paid to send out outreach messages and send out follow-up to get more conversations into the AI flow. And that's all they do, and it works perfectly fine without interrupting them, without talking to them or anything else, because everything is tracked here. And here's the kicker. He doesn't touch a single DM or talks to the DM team on a daily basis. Everything runs fully on autopilot so they can focus on other parts of their business. And this is what happens if you combine the right systems with AI automations instead of trying to do everything manually. And to sum this up, here are 3 critical mistakes that I've seen so many times that I need to talk about it. First of all, get your data right. Believe me when I say that nearly none of the clients we work with came to us with the correct data. And these are not just beginner clients. We're talking about companies doing 50K to 500K per month, and they still don't have their data right. And this is always the first thing we work on with every new client we have. First, we fix their data to actually see where they are currently at and where we will bring them after implementing our systems. Data is so crucial. If you do not have it, you are basically flying blind. Most companies out there have a data problem, and I hope you will not be one of them. The second biggest mistake is ignoring follow-ups. 81% of sales happen after the 5th touch point with the lead. But most people still just send 1 DM and give up. Some might follow up occasionally, but that won't get you to your results. That is not what's gonna drive the growth that you're looking for. You need to have a proper system and SOPs to follow up with each and every individual lead multiple times without missing a single one. It will make you more money, I promise. Go out there, do all your follow-ups and come back to me and tell me if you made more money or not. And the third mistake is to let your setters improvise. You are the business owner, you might know what works, but if you give them an empty sheet of paper to work with, they will suck at their job. Consistency beats creativity every single time when it comes to sales. Stick to what works and give them clear SOPs, guidelines, and KPIs they need to hit. And now I want you to take action. First of all, get your data right. I'll add the link to the tool I showed you in the description. Then go ahead and write down your whole sales process from start to finish. Start with one VA or yourself. Create scripts so simple that a 12-year-old could follow them, and scale only after you have predictable results. And if you want our help to implement all of this, including the AI, into your system and making it scalable, feel free to check out the links in the description. At the moment of recording this video, we are fully booked and we are not onboarding any new clients to our agency, but who knows when you are watching this video. I hope you really learned something new and that I could give you enough value in this video. And if you did, please like this video and subscribe to the channel so you can follow my journey. And as always, thanks a lot for listening. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.